All right, welcome to a special prospect interview here on the No Ceilings NBA podcast feed and YouTube channel. I am Maxwell, and today I am joined by the scoring leader in the Big East this past season, Quincy Olivari. Quincy, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. It's a pleasure to have you here and pick your brain. You are in the field for the upcoming Portsmouth Invitational, so really excited to get a chance to talk to you here, leading up in the days prior to the event. For people that are just kind of parachuting into the draft coverage, the NBA fans that maybe don't pay as much attention to college basketball, how would you describe your game to someone who's never seen you before?
I would just say I'm an electric scorer, microwave scorer that can really shoot from deep, and I bring a lot of energy to the game. Say I like to pride myself on shooting, so that's one thing. And then my energy, I think, is second to none.
Absolutely, I would agree with that 100%. I always like to start kind of at the very beginning. What was the thing that got you into basketball growing up?
Just hanging with my dad. My dad used to watch a lot of sports growing up, and just kind of always wanted to like what my dad liked. And he used to work for like Hawks media coverage and do stuff with the Hawks and follow a lot of sports. So just watching sports in his office or going to a Hawks game and having to work that, just being around that definitely is what got me into it. And that started at a young age, about like 4, 5.
Mm-hmm. Were there guys that you like really liked as players you kind of latched onto during that time at all?
Oh, I mean, for sure, Joe Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, as I got older, it was Jamal Crawford. Just like I was a huge Hawks guy, so
For sure.
Joe Johnson was like the first Hawk. My dad used to bring back these bobbleheads
Mm-hmm.
we would get from the radio station. I think it was called 690, the
Mm-hmm.
Fan. And I remember when he got Joe Johnson bobblehead, it meant the world to me because I was my favorite player growing up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was great. That was a fun era for Hawks basketball. Him, Josh Smith, like that kind of era for the team. Yeah, that's great.
Highlight Factory. That's when they called it the Highlight Factory.
Yeah. Those are fun teams. I'm from like the Chicago area originally, and I remember like they had like a really fun playoff series around the like against the D Rose Bulls, like around that same time. And I just remember being like, man, like I like this Hawks team.
Yeah.
Like it's one of those things. I'm pulling for the Bulls, but this Hawks team's really fun. What was your like playing career like and stuff like that prior to college, and what was your recruitment like kind of coming out?
So prior to college, it was very under the radar.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't heavily recruited at all. I honestly like basketball. It didn't look like I would ever have any opportunity of playing basketball past high school up until let me say my last summer of AAU.
Oh wow, okay.
Like I played for the Atlanta Celtics with Coach Emery, and then we
Yep.
broke off and we became D-Favor Celtics, and then we became ATL Hoops. And I trained every day. I worked out every day. I could shoot the ball, but I hardly, when it came to AAU, I was the last off the bench. I was the person that kind of picked up full court, never really scored, and then I was sitting in the corner. And it was like it didn't look good, for a while.
Yeah.
That I need to look up academic scholarships because it didn't look
Mm-hmm.
like I was getting athletic scholarship. I ran cross country at the time, and I was really good at cross country. People were telling me I should stick with cross country, but I just loved basketball, and
Mm-hmm.
it was tough, because like I said, my mom did think I would play college basketball. It was just me and my dad, honestly, that kind of just stuck with it every day after practice, getting shots up, and him just reminding me to continue to have fun and always enjoy the game and never get too stressed out. Just kind of motivate me with little things like that. I remember specifically one time he knew I didn't like score a lot, but he told me, I was like, I think I might have been 11, 12.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, if you go out here and play super hard and I think get like 4 rebounds and score like 8 points, I'll take you to the library.
Yeah.
That he would do to kind of keep me motivated, to kind of keep the game fun.
Mm-hmm.
And I owe a lot of what I have now to my dad, because like I said, it was a while that for a long time it did not look like I would be anything as far as basketball goes, because I was really smart in school, but I was never getting the looks
Mm-hmm.
that I have now. And coming out of college or coming out of high school, I was only recruited by Rice and Cornell.
Mm-hmm.
Cornell wasn't full ride, but I was about to commit to Cornell because
Yeah.
Rice was not.
Basketball. Yeah.
They weren't that serious. Like
Okay.
they kept like beating around the bush and kind of like trying to keep me at bay. And Cornell wanted me, and I was about to commit to
Mhm.
Cornell Saturday on my visit at dinner, and someone just
Wow.
told me not to, and I went to Rice and committed the following week, and the rest is history. But I was
Yeah.
not highly recruited. I most definitely worked for everything that I have, and I
Mhm.
know the grind because I started from the bottom of the bottom. Like
Yeah.
people don't even know that my freshman year of high school, I was a manager for the varsity team because I just wanted to hang around varsity and just be around the highest level.
Mhm. That's really cool. That's really cool. I wouldn't have guessed that. Like I don't know, like something about like you you can play with a certain level of dominance at that time at times. And like when guys have that game, I always just kind of assume that it's always been a little bit easy for them in a sense. You know what I mean? Like that's really cool. I would not have guessed that it was that kind of rough of a climb. But you are a guy that like improved substantially throughout college. Like your freshman season at Rice, it was more of a role, 14 minutes a game. And then slowly you started to tick up. I remember like in our crew at No Ceilings, like midway through your college career, Tyler Metcalf on our crew was like, hey, start paying attention to this Quincy Olivari guy. Like that's like when I remember you like starting to hit your stride. What was your progression like there? Because it shows up on the stat sheet, but like we don't see the full picture. We're just watching games and seeing numbers. So what took you from like guy who plays 15 minutes a game to like guy who can really fill it up and is a really key part of this team?
That COVID summer, spring,
Mm-hmm.
it was the most focused, confident, determined, goal oriented me that I had ever been. Like
Mm-hmm.
I just remember after that, like coming back and just seeing what college was like. And I was like, nah, I can mentally, I was already telling myself, like, I can kill, like I can come in here and dominate. Like I would sit on the back of the bus and just dream about me dominating, or I would go to sleep. And before I go to sleep, I'd dream about me dominating. I'd be in class and just before we got sent home, like after the season, I'm like, bro, I can come. I know I can go in there and score 30 and hit a big three and get the crowd lit, or I can out of a timeout get the ball and get a buck. Like I was just thinking about, I know I can dominate.
Mm-hmm.
And so we went home, and slowly but surely things started to fall apart there as far as like Drew transferred, trade
Yeah.
transferred, and I would just scroll on Twitter and I'd be like, John Rothstein would say, you know, so and so just left Rice. Coach Parrott has a big void. He has big shoes to fill. What's he gonna do? And I'm like, nah, it's me. Like,
Yeah.
like, and I would tell myself, like, no, it's gonna be me.
Mm-hmm.
And that summer, spring, I would go out. I would work out in the morning, and I work out with Mahmoud Abdul Rauf in the morning.
Oh wow. Okay. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
would
Yeah.
go, I would go train with my strength coach, Coach Jamal. Then after that, I had a goal in my backyard when I've had that since I was a little kid. And it was a while where I would be like, man, like I can't move this goal by myself. I need my dad. And I just remember one day I was like, no, I'm just gonna try to move it by myself. And I moved everything by myself. And when I did that, it was, I don't know why, it was like a sense of accomplishment for me because I was able to move the basketball goal, the plate, and the two big pots of plants to the front yard by myself, and it just stayed there the whole summer. And after that, after every afternoon, I would go out there, just work on in the shot clock moves, in the game moves, just go out there and freestyle, just have fun,
Mm-hmm.
just shoot,
Yeah.
like get the ball and just throw it to the corner and shoot a corner three fading out of bounds. If I
Mm-hmm.
missed it or if I made it, sometimes if I made it, it would hit the bottom of the rim and just go all the way down the street.
Mm-hmm.
I had to go chase it and do it again. I was just having fun, just 3-2. I was just doing stuff like that. And it was just like that summer, I was so determined to come back a dog. And I
Mm-hmm.
just remember I told someone, I think I told my shrimp coach, I was like, it's going to be without a doubt that next year I'm going to be the best player on the team, that I was who they were missing. Like it was no need to look for a transfer. It was no need to sulk that Trey Murphy or Drew Pearson left because I'm here. Like I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to do that. I was running miles every day. I was I was doing everything in my power. I came back. I left Rice at I think 198 or 196.
Yeah.
And I was like bulky, like stocky.
Mm-hmm.
That summer, I was like, nah. I came back. I was 189. I was 4% body fat. It was the best I ever felt. Now I was skinny. Now I was
Yeah.
definitely,
Yeah. Yeah.
but condition wise, spring wise, just like twitch muscles. Like
Mm-hmm.
I did the jump attack program by Tim Grover. It not only changed my body, but it changed my mental. My mentality was like nobody worked harder than me. I fought through this. I remember doing these workouts, this training, and I failed at one point, but it didn't break me. You know,
Mm-hmm.
like nobody's gonna come out here and outwork me. I know I can come out here and kill, and
Mm-hmm.
I owe a lot of my
Worked
success.
out. Yeah.
That's like that spring/summer, like I can't even tell you like how like describing it now and being on the opposite side of it. Like I went in there, I set a goal, and when I came, I started coming off the bench at the beginning
Mm-hmm.
of the season, and it was a lot of roster change, but once I started producing off the bench, I mean, it was no doubt I was the best player on the team. I'm scoring 28 off the bench, 35 off the bench, 15, and I didn't miss a shot. Like, it was like, nah, this kid's our best scorer, and he's coming off the bench. And I remember specifically Coach A, he's at Clayton State now. He said, we've been talking with the staff Q, and we were like, you want to come off the bench, or do you want to keep coming off the bench, or do you want to start? And in my mind, I was like, if I keep coming off the bench, I'll be going up against people's second unit. I can kill for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
And then I sat down. I closed my phone, and I was like, what am I doing? Like, I work to be the best in the country.
Mm-hmm.
What do I sound like telling myself I want to kill against the second group?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I just remember telling them, no, I want to start. Forget all that. Start me.
Mm-hmm.
And the rest is history.
Man, that's awesome. That's awesome. So you touched on a lot of things that I kind of want to get into. One of the things let's start with this because you mentioned like the body transformation around that time. I think it's so necessary in the modern NBA, sorry, for guards to have that level of like strength and power in addition to that speed. And that's something that really kind of pops off the film for you is like you're one of those guys that's like people aren't really gonna like get through you physically. How does your level of like strength and toughness help you on the court, whether it's offense, defense, like wherever? What does that do for you? Because I was really surprised when you're talking about like running cross country earlier. Because
Yeah,
I
I
was
used
like,
to be really
this
good.
is not a dude I would have pegged. He's like, oh yeah, he's like a cross country style
Really
athlete.
good.
Like it's so far opposite of that now.
Nah, yeah, my 5Ks, I was like 15 minutes, 16 minutes. Like I was good.
Mm-hmm.
Like my coach said if I stayed with it, I could have been like a Division I cross country run. That's how good I was. Like I was running cross country meets, the fly knit Nikes with no socks, like skinny
Oh
feet.
yeah,
I
yeah,
was
yeah,
one of
yeah.
those. Yeah, I was one of
I
them.
was like a discus thrower and shot putter. So I was around like, yeah, like the cross country, like distance guys who, yeah, have those shoes and no socks thing, like the whole deal.
Yeah, but it really it kind of started like my senior year of high school. After the season, I had never been in the weight room
Mm-hmm.
for real until after my senior year of high school, and I worked out with Chase Hunter for a while. Like that's like
Oh
my
yeah, yeah, big dude.
friends.
Mm-hmm.
And so he was always in the weight room, but I was never in the weight room. And so once I started working out with him and seeing what the weight room was really like, I saw why he attacked the basket with so much confidence, with so much power. And once I started getting out, I was like, no, this is useful. And so I started to develop a love for the weight room just because I started to not only see the results on the court, but see the results off the court. I got my
Yeah,
shirt.
yeah,
Women say I look good. Look,
yeah. Yeah, yeah.
but we got to college my freshman year and I just bulked up. Like
Mm-hmm.
I was about almost 200, but I just felt heavy.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why I lost so much weight after my freshman year, because I said I just didn't want to be 200. I didn't feel good. And every year it was kind of like a different thing in the weight room. My sophomore year was all about, I focused a lot on mobility, ankle strength, ankle mobility, toe strength, toe mobility, just like core. Like I worked on a lot of other stuff. That was what I told my coach at the time, Coach Blackburn. That's what makes me feel the best. I feel the strongest. I feel the fastest. I feel the quickest when I'm skinnier, but my core is good. Like if my
Yeah,
core
yeah.
is good, I'm fine. I can do the biceps. I was still squatting pretty heavy.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe 250. I was
Mm-hmm.
benching I mean, I was benching pretty light, 185, 190, maybe I think maybe 205. But I was like, all I care about is my core.
Yeah.
Because at that point I feel good. My junior year, a lot of up and down, a lot of up and down. I'll admit that was when I broke my wrist. So I was just kind of, But my senior year at Rice, I was just like, nah, I just want to come back strong. I want to come back feeling a little good, but I want to be around 195, 200. And just kind of noticing like how attacking the lane, lowering my shoulder and kind of getting contact on my shoulder was important. And it helped when I was going to the paint. But it wasn't until I got to Xavier where I really knew how important that weight room was. I had the shoulders my senior year of college, like at Rice, but I didn't really get the shoulders until last year at Xavier. And granted, a lot of people don't know, I actually got hit by a car, so I have a nice scar on my shoulder.
Oh man, okay.
And that was ironically like when I was working out my sophomore year after the season. That's when we bulked up, and I was like really bulky, like for real. And I had some good shoulders. My shoulders actually saved me from like really getting damaged when I got hit by that car. My shoulders really saved me. So if y'all, I'm sure, I don't know if you'll be at Portsmouth, but when I have my jersey, you'll see my scar on my left shoulder. But my shoulders is like some people joke about on the team because they're very broad.
Yeah.
When I'm attacking the paint and I'm attacking, I try to bump somebody or somebody bumps me, or if I put my hands up and they bump my chest, I'm not flying back unless I'm flopping. I'm not flying back as I used to, because I realized how important the weight room is and how being strong not only affects offense, but it greatly affects defense.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's huge. And the other thing I want to touch on is just sort of the guys that you played with at Xavier and how that shaped your game. Because I think people that, again, like if a lot of times people in the draft space, and like, I don't mean this like a negative way, will kind of just pay attention to guys like once they're like really on the radar. So people like just watched you this year at Xavier, they see like leading option. During your time at Rice, like you mentioned, Drew Peterson was there, Trey Murphy was there. They played a lot through Max Fiedler. Travis Evie would create some offense. Like you also became pretty adept at like playing off of other guys. That's like a real strength of yours. Can you talk about the development of that and how you think that might pay off at the next level?
Yeah, that goes all the way back to AAU. Like I told you, I was never the guy. I was always sitting in the corner and shooting. So I was always used to playing second or being off the ball and getting open. Growing up, I watched a lot of I tried to think I was in like 7th grade, and I think his name was Coach Miles. He said, you should really watch Bradley Beal. And from like 6th, 7th grade, I watched a lot of Bradley Beal, and he was a 2-guard, played off the ball. Not really much of a ball in it, because I'm not really much of a ISO go get like all that wastes too much energy, man. Let me come off the rock, ask for a go screen, come off a screen, come off a stagger screen, do something, and then let's create some space there. But I'm not all the tween cross behind, step back, fake hezzy. That's too much energy. Rob Dillingham is really good at that.
Yeah.
I can't do that.
There's no shame in that.
I don't want. That's not my game, And that, like I said, that started at a young age. And as I got older, I was always playing with someone who was considered the better player on the team. So they had the ball in their hand, and I had to play off them. And as I got older, I got to high school. I was on 9th grade. I was the better player, so I was getting the ball, but I was still learning what to do with that. I would watch other people. I watched a lot of shooting guards. Then as I finally got to varsity, Chase Hunter was there. Chase Hunter was a primary ball handler. So I learned how to play off ball with another great player who was going to Clemson, Chase Hunter. I learned that. And then I got to college, played with Drew, play with Trey, and they had the ball in their hands a lot more. So I'm waiting on them, how to get open. What are other ways I can move without the ball? Learn that. Go up to get older. Max has the ball. He has at the top of the key, running around, trying to get open, setting screen, back screen, doing this, cutting, playing off the ball. Then I get to Xavier. We run our flow offense, hit the top of the key, or Davion hits me, I hit someone else. We running around, I'm playing off the ball. It's honestly been my whole life. Like that I've never had a point where I had to change how I play, because I've always just learned to play off the ball. And as the NBA has changed from when I was 5 to now I'm 22, it's almost as if my game has stayed consistent. It's been able to translate at every level, because I've never been 20 dribbles
Yeah.
type of guy. And I give a lot of credit to Coach Emery. I mean, he passed last year, or 2 years ago. But he taught me at a young age footwork, playing hard and hustling, and sprinting to the corner in transition will always get you paid. And I was 5th grade.
You're like getting
No,
paid
that was
when?
before Steph
Yeah.
Curry became the Human Torch, and we
Mhm.
were shooting 33s a game. I was still, and he told me back then, and he taught me how to play off the ball at that age, just not standing when someone has the ball. You can
Mhm.
make a cut, set a screen for somebody, and he said it'll get you paid. And when I look at the position I'm in now, I think my game can greatly translate, because let's say I'm watching the Phoenix Suns and Devin Booker's working out in the middle of the floor, 5, 4, 3, 2, skips to the corner. I'm already ready. I can shoot a
Mhm.
corner 3. Like, I
Mhm.
shoot the ball, a
Yeah.
catch and shoot shot. That's something I can do. You don't need to pass it to me, and I need to do all this, and I don't need to do all that.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
how I think my game translates.
yeah, and I thought it was interesting. One of the things I was going to bring up is like, again, like just one of those things that is valuable for guards in the modern NBA is like I call it like on and off ball equity. Like, can you do something on the ball? Can you do something off the ball? It is like the synergy numbers, like you were 90th percentile pick and roll, 85th percentile spot ups, 93rd percentile of handoffs. So like whether these are play types that involve you leading the offense or you coming off of somebody else's offense or moving into offense, like you've done really well with that. Do you think that was a part of you? I mean, having the success that you did at Xavier? Because a lot of times we see these guys that move up from the mid-major level to a high major level, and it just doesn't happen for them.
Most definitely. I definitely
You
saw that.
posted like career highs in like a couple areas this year. Do you think it was just that comfort of being able to kind of play with whoever, however?
Nah, for sure. And it was all mental. How bad
Mhm.
did I want it to work out? How bad did I want to come in and be great, and accept the challenge of being at a higher level, and then just working at it. Like, I worked my tail off. And that's the thing. Like, I'm one of the more driven, goal oriented people that a lot of people know. Like, if I put my mind on something, if I say I want to do something, I'm gonna do it.
Mhm.
And I said when I transfer, I want to play at the highest level and see how I fare against people that are also the best athletes in the world, that are potential draft picks. And I said that at Rice, like, I think I'm a pro, I'm an NBA player. And I told myself, well, it's time. Like,
Mhm.
I'm about to play in the Big East. UConn, Providence, Seton Hall, St. John's, Creighton, you know, Marquette. Like,
Yeah.
these are teams that are in a tournament every year, that have a potential first round pick, that have potential NBA players. I say I'm a pro. It's time to see what I can do. And so I put in countless work over the summer. I worked out with Coach Manny. We were down in Keene, Texas, and we just watched. He watched a lot of offense as Xavier ran, and we just worked out a lot, and just trying to put put me in sets in the workout that would translate to the game, which is handoffs or sprint to the corner, or hit me early, pitch back, which is like pistol action, Spain action, things like that. Just hitting shots on stop behind threes, or handoff threes and stuff like that. Just attacking downhill, just to kind of like put me in a mindset of, these are the type of shots I'm gonna get. So just be ready for it. I mean, like I said, I'm not the dribble, get a screen, split the screen, step back, get a switch, back up to half court, wipe my feet. Like, I'm not that guy,
Mhm.
you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
So we just did our best to try to replicate the offense in our workouts, so I could be as best prepared for my shots in the game.
For sure. How much confidence did you gain over this past year between like just like having a good performance in like the Reese's College All Star Game, which like people, some people might be like, oh, it's an exhibition or whatever. But you mentioned the Big East. There's all this NBA talent in the conference, particularly at the guard spot. We're talking Devin Carter. We're talking Tyler Kolek, Trey Alexander. Like just even like the Seton Hall guards just have like a real level of like toughness and size to them. Like it's a really good guard league this year. How did going through that and playing successfully, like you shot, I mean, you scored 19 a game, you shot 41% from three. Like what did that do anything for you? Like just getting to see those kind of results when playing
Tremendously.
that kind of talent?
Tremendously. I mean, once I got that groove after Thanksgiving, I remember telling myself, this feels a lot like Rice. Once I got in that mode, it was over with. And when we played St. John's, first Big East game, and I'm running the fast break, and Rick Pitino's yelling, "Don't leave him. Don't leave him. Don't let him touch it." Like, Rick Pitino is telling you that. And then right after that game, Coach Cohen is telling me, like, I'm going to be good. We were just caught off guard. We're going to have you ready. Next game, we Seton Hall. I had 29. Should have had 30 because I missed a free throw. Had 29. You know, second Big East game of the year, 29 points in the best conference in the country. And so I'm like, oh, okay. And as I'm continue to go, I'm at the top of everybody's scout. Some teams double teaming me, like Coach Hurley telling me I'm one of the best players in the conference. Shaka Smart telling me I'm one of the best players in the conference. You know, Coach McDermott from Creighton telling me he has a lot of respect for my game, and a lot of people just showing a lot of respect for me. And even if they don't tell me, I mean, their game plan their scout tells me everything I need to know.
Yeah.
You having, instead of let's just say, for example, instead of Joshua Durrell dropping, when I get the ball, you got him jumping.
Yeah.
So I can get the ball out of my hands like that. That's a sort of sign of respect. Like, no, you need to get the ball out of his hands, because if not, you know, he's gonna do damage. And I remember specifically the second time we played UConn at the XL Center because Tristan Newton was denying me the ball. The first time we played him, I had like 20, and he started denying me. It was like 8 minutes left in the game. He's denying me the ball. We jump ball, tipped the ball off the XL Center. I don't know if we won the tip or not. I don't think we did. But as soon as we got the ball, Tristan Newton is denying me full court. Full court. It's 2-0.
Yeah.
I said, bro, the game just started. He said, Coach Hurley said, nah, not this time. And, you know, it's like respect like that. Like, hold on. I'm in arguably the best conference in the country. I'm at the top of people's scouting reports. This is basically exactly how I was at Rice, but on the national stage. I can play with the best of the best. I belong here. I can do this. And it was amazing. You know, after the season ended, I told my uncle, and I told my mom, I told my dad, I told a lot of people, I said, this is the most confident I've ever been that I can play in the NBA in my life, because this year has showed it. And then I go to the Reese's game, and I led my team in scoring. It was a great experience playing on the Final Four. I posted something on my Instagram right before the game. 5 years ago, when the Final Four was in Minnesota, me and my dad went to the Final Four Saturday, that event. And when we went to the Friday practices, we went to watch the practices in the All-Star game. And that was 5 years ago. 5 years later, I'm in the game. You know, I got to watch a couple of practices. Just my story, when the full story comes out, it's going to be crazy just how my life came full circle the way it did, because my life is really like, it's really a movie. Like, the way everything unfolded is really a movie. And people say that it's very cliche, but my journey is really a movie. Like, I got hit by a car.
Yeah. That's crazy.
I broke my wrist, no surgery. Like, I got sick one summer and lost 20 pounds while I was in college. I won't let you guess what summer that was. That summer I got sick. I didn't eat for 8 days straight, was sick for 2 weeks, and lost 20 pounds.
Man. That's crazy. It's unbelievable that you're in the position that you're in now. And we're so excited to see where it goes. Want to touch on your defense for a little bit, because I think it can get slept on at times. One of the things that stands out about your game is you're a really good rebounder for a guard. And just like historically, from a data perspective, if you're a guard that rebounds, your chances of sticking in the NBA are much better. Like, it matters. And a lot of people don't think that. A lot of people don't like put together, like, oh, you know, it doesn't really matter if I got rebounds or not. It does. Where did that element of your game come from? Was that one of those things you picked up just being like that role player kind of guy, where it's like, well, I got to do something to be on the court? Or
yeah, the stat sheet just never looked good if it was all points, 1 assist, 0 rebound. Not attractive.
Yeah, no, it's not.
I started crashing a little bit, but my uncle Andrew, he told me and Chase this. And I will never ever forget this. He said, if you go get a rebound and you get the rebound, you don't have to ask for the ball from anyone, because you have it in your hands. And one thing about me and Chase, you don't have to tell me and Chase twice how to go get the ball.
Mm-hmm.
And once I started just realizing, like, I'm going up to get the rebound, I'm getting a lot of these. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going up, I'm feeling strong when I go get it, and then I'm pushing on the fast break. Like, this is fun. I
Yeah.
want to do it again. And it became like, oh wait, I can really rebound. Oh wait,
Mm-hmm.
I got 9 rebounds. Hold on. Oh wait, I got 11 rebounds. Like, I used to dream about a double double. That's how easy it is to just go up and get a rebound. Like,
Yeah.
the big men are battling, so they
Mm-hmm.
gonna battle.
Yeah.
Sometimes they occupy, but
Mm-hmm.
sometimes my man is getting back. I'm about
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
fly in and go get it.
Mm-hmm. Well, like I mean, obviously I didn't play at the level you played at, but like as like when I played, I played the big man spots, and it was always so. I think it's really frustrating for the other team's bigs when, like you said, like you're battling, and then someone else isn't boxing out, and then you've got that guard that flies in, whether it's a putback or defensive rebound or whatever. Like I think it just kind of grates on the other team a little bit too. Like it's just kind of annoying when there's a guard that's kind of getting it on the glass time and time again.
It's fun. It makes the box score look a little bit better.
For sure.
14, 6, and 3 looks
Mhm.
way
Yeah,
better
yeah.
than 14, 1, and 1.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And then let's talk about your defense a little bit. We talked about your strength a little bit. I think that's one of the like your biggest strengths, pun intended, on that side of the ball. What like positions do you kind of see yourself guarding at the next level?
1 through 3. I mean,
Mhm.
you could say 4. It's a switching league, but you know, definitely 1 through 3. I mean, once I kind of pick up on different defensive principles, I think it'll definitely help. Because obviously a lot of teams do different things based on matchups, based on
Mhm.
who's in the game and things like that. But for the most part, once I pick up on the principles, I think 1 through 3. I mean, like I said, potential 4 would have been a switching league because I mean, who knows who the 4 could be at a time?
Mhm.
Like if a team's running an extremely small lineup,
Sure, sure. Yeah.
because the 2 or 3 could be the 4. But yeah, I would say 1 through 4. I would hope it's an NBA team that doesn't have me trying to guard a 5-man like Steven Adams or
Well,
something.
yeah, 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 yeah. Mhm.
But nah, for the most part, I think I would say 1 through 3, and depending on the matchup, potentially a 4.
Yeah, and I think that's something again that just kind of differentiates you a little bit, because you see now like so many teams try to like hunt the height mismatch, and like that wasn't working on you in the film this year. Like a couple teams went for it and didn't have great success. Do you like practice for that at all? Because like teams scored really poorly against you on the block this year, or is that just kind of a want to and toughness
It's
thing?
just a want, like, cause I'm like,
Yeah,
bro,
yeah,
you're not gonna punk me, dog. I
yeah.
225, like
Mhm.
8 reps. Like, come on, bro, let's have some fun. I just didn't want to be that guy because then I don't want
Mhm.
nobody running down the court doing a 2 little celebration.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Now I gotta get a bucket. Now we gotta
Mhm.
now we gotta turn a 5-on-5 game in front of all these fans into a 1-on-1 pickup game because you're trying to punk me on TV.
Mhm. What have you been working on most kind of in the lead up to the draft? I know like the college season just ended, like we haven't had a ton of time, but is there anything in your game that you're excited to show people? Either say, hey, this is something I did during college and I've gotten better at it, or hey, this is a wrinkle that maybe just due to role or fit, I didn't really get to show off a lot. Like, is there anything that you're excited for teams to see, either during Portsmouth or these other pre-draft events or team workouts that might catch people a little bit off guard?
Playmaking and reads for sure.
Hmm.
Um, and then obviously defense. You can never not show enough defense. I think a lot of people know that I can score the ball. That's what I've been doing since I've been in college. But I've averaged 2 assists the past few years, just showing that I can really pass the ball and defense for sure.
Hmm. How challenging was it for you being a guy that like to me comes across as really competitive? I know a lot of times if you are a leading scoring option on a college team, coaches will really stress to stay out of foul trouble. Um, how was it to kind of deal with like that at the college level, where like coach doesn't want me to foul, and how that can kind of limit you defensively at
Oh
times?
yeah, it was tough because
Yeah.
a lot of games they call touch fouls. A lot of games they wouldn't call anything, and I'm like, well, once you figured out how they were calling the game, it was fun. I mean,
Hmm.
obviously, every college player in the first half, if they get 2, they begging the coach to let them stay. I had to do that a couple of times, but you know, um, it's all about having a feel for the game. Like if we're playing a game against, let's say, Seton Hall, where they're
Hmm.
very, very um aggressive. It's a lot of bang bang stuff. you can be a little bit more physical in the post. You can bump a little bit. You can try to do a wraparound still. But if you plan another game, I'm just gonna make up another team in the big.
Sure. Yeah.
Let's say we're playing UConn and we're at Centos.
Mm-hmm.
We're the underdogs. Maybe the ref might call a little wraparound play on Steph Castle just because it's contact. You know,
Yeah.
but it really all depends on the ref and how they're calling the game, how physical you want to be on defense.
For sure. Last one I like to kind of throw at everybody. Obviously, you've got a great pro basketball career ahead of you. Whenever that is over with and your days as a player are done, do you have anything that you want to do after?
Oh yeah, for sure. I'm gonna be on TV. I
I love it.
love talking about the game.
Mm-hmm.
I love commentating. Like I love that. I love talking about basketball, and I think I definitely have the confidence to do that in front of a camera, do that for a TV network. And I mean, like I said, I've been around it all my life. That's what my dad used to do.
Yeah.
With the Hawks media, and then he worked for Georgia Public Broadcasting doing that, reporting on high school sports. So I definitely have watched a lot of that and lived that growing up, and that's something I definitely think I can do. I'm very charismatic and I'm not shy and I'm very outgoing. And you put a mic, you can ask me a question right now, interview you. And
I was gonna say you've been killing it. I'm worried that you're gonna take my job, man. I gotta end this now. No, I'm kidding.
Oh no, yeah,
You're good.
I definitely a broadcaster or a TV analyst.
For sure. I could see it. I think you'd be a great fit for that. For people who kind of want to keep following along with your journey, where can they find you on social media?
It's just my name, Quincy Olivari, on Twitter, on Instagram. Is there any other main platforms? I think that's it.
Yeah.
YouTube is Quincy Olivari. My dad used to make my mixtapes in high school. So if y'all want to catch my high school tapes, that was made by Gerald Olivari, filmed by Gerald Olivari. That's really it.
That's awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming on. We really appreciate it. Make sure you're following Quincy on social media. You can follow us at No Ceilings NBA and me at Boundboards on Twitter. So thank you all so much for joining us. Quincy, best of luck to you here during the pre-draft process.
Yes, sir. Thank you.